You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in the court of love. After you've experienced any kind of betrayal, and especially in this case, we can talk about a romantic betrayal. What made me think about this was the case between Akira and Brenay, and mainly highlighting this from Akira's standpoint. I found it very impressive that Akira prioritized strategy and emotional regulation rather than crashing out. And that's how she ended up getting a victory in the courtroom, right? Providing that documentation and seeking justice, but in a productive manner. Even though it would have been justified, according to a lot of people's opinion, to crash out, to maybe do something to kind of get her lick back against her ex and against the woman who she welcomed with open arms who was messing with her husband. Instead, she decided to take things to a legal representative and get her just due from a different perspective. And I think that that's very powerful. And it doesn't always have to be in a romantic capacity. It can be anything. It could be professional. It could be platonic. After you've experienced some kind of betrayal, take action in a productive and strategic manner. Because this is the harsh reality. There are certain people who will betray you on purpose to elicit a negative response out of you. Whether it be they feed off of your negative responses or they provoke you to justify their wrongdoing against you. And to break this down from a romantic lens specifically, I'm actually going to read the temperature test excerpt in this publication right here. And it reads, listing these tests in detail is designed to give women the clarity needed to understand these interactions. In this book, it dissects two common forms of romantic testing that run rampant in romantic relationships. And the book proceeds to go into some additional detail as far as these different types of tests and how they present itself in a romantic partnership, or maybe it's just with the romantic prospect, and also the purpose of these tests. All of those determinants are rooted in essentially testing a person's boundaries in order to get what they want. So that breaks down why it's so important to utilize strategy and regulation when you realize you've been faced with some kind of betrayal. Because the betrayal, 9 times out of 10, has less to do with harming you, hurting your reputation, as much as it's about testing your limits and getting something from you through your negative response or reaction. Another thing that I want to break down is the emotional regulation piece. So that's going to be the wraparound point. How to implement emotional regulation when you've been faced with betrayal. That can be better understood by reading from the excerpt in this book. This one right here. And there's an entire excerpt that breaks down emotional regulation. In order to defeat your adversaries and counterbalance an envious person's attacks, you cannot view them as an enemy. That will elicit too much emotion. You must look at your adversaries as training. Nothing can be conquered with emotions. Everything must be conquered with mental agility. Your mind determines your moves, and a move rooted in emotion is bound to be chaotic. The best move is a move rooted in strategy. So when some never give someone the satisfaction of evading accountability because you had a counterproductive response. Always prioritize strategy, but most importantly, emotional regulation.